Now, going over to the political part podcast, you have Trump versus Kamala fact checking going viral because, well, ABC didn't do any of it during the actual debate. So everyone followed up with juxtapositions of what Kamala was saying at the debate versus her entire track record. And nice way of saying this. Oh, a more interesting way of saying this. She flip flops. She has more flip flops than J.C. Penney. I don't know if those stores are really open though. I don't know how many flip flops they have left in stock. But the attempt at a joke was certainly made. This comes to us thanks to Lives of TikTok. She says, quote, "Hi ABC and David Moore, did you see this?" About minute 44, but good compilation of her just flipping and the flopping in.
Tim Walz.
And remember, she says her morals have not changed at all.
Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
I support buybacks.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory.
I will not ban fracking.
When they say mandatory gun buybacks, that's a forced confiscation. Because again, the penalty is if you don't allow the government to buy your property back, well, then they take your life or imprison you. So it is gun confiscation, just with a different name, just like how they call everything healthcare when it's really not healthcare. And again, she said, again, this shows how much of a leftist she is. Even Joe Biden, during the 2020 nominee, he didn't go this far to say he's going to confiscate guns. During the 2020 nominee, is an instance where Kamala was saying if Congress, quote unquote, didn't act within the first 100 days, she passed an executive order for gun confiscation. Biden, during that primary, he said, well, you can't do that. You actually need support. And you also have, yes, you cannot steal people's property without due process. And also, the latest Supreme Court ruling or great precedent that has been set, you cannot gun bans that are in common use. And with well over 50% of all rifles sold in the United States being of the AR-15 pattern variant, that is quite literally the definition of common usage. So she keeps saying she wants to ban AR-15s or ban black rifles. Yeah, I don't see that holding any legal standing. It might get her some votes and anti-gunners will donate more to her, perhaps. But yeah, in terms of actual legal standing, and then that'd be a huge momentous task in terms of trying to enforce that, even coordinating with local police who, heaven forbid, they take the side of tyrants. They actually go door to door and try to take people's guns away. But yeah, just to extrapolate on that specific point.
Fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States. And in fact, I was the tie-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which opened new leases.
Yeah, I would not brag about the Inflation Reduction Act. That's how bad the debate was. She thought that was a point to brag on. Like pretty much all political bills, it had the antithesis or the opposite effect of what it was called. It caused record high inflation, mostly giving handouts to quote unquote green energy, which is not green fiscally. Well, not even long-term environmentally, but it does sound green and people think short-term. Yeah, it's green.
Is for fracking.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
I absolutely support and over the
So I got a lot of these second clips are from clips of her in 2019.
last 4 years as Vice President, private healthcare options.
You support the Medicare for All bill, I think initially
Correct.
co-sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders. You're also a co-sponsor
Yes.
on it. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it?
Well, listen, the idea is that everyone gets access to medical care. And you don't have to go through the process of going through an insurance company, having them give you approval, going through the paperwork, all of the delay that may require. Who of us has not had that situation where you got to wait for approval and the doctor says, well, I don't know if your insurance company is going to cover this? Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on.
The United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500 more border agents on the border to help those folks who are working there right now
False.
overtime trying to do their jobs.
And I think that
Yeah. Again, that bill, I keep trying to tell people, yeah, Republicans, they didn't vote for this. Well, yeah, because it wasn't really for the southern border the way that people want it to be for the border. It's going to be used for the southern border for processing, not actually stopping the flow of illegal immigration. Also, the biggest line item in terms of monetary, the money from the bill, was going to protect the border in the Ukraine, which, even, I was about to say, even public schools in the United States, even the test scores aren't even, they're not so low that students would say Ukraine is a border to us. I'd hope not. I know there's had 32-year low ACT test scores, but I mean, even they know Ukraine is way the heck across the globe, and it has really no any strategic or fiscal, business partnerships with us or advantages to protect, again, $200 billion for them, not even $12 billion to protect our board. But I partially digress.
There's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work.
Yeah. And of course, the ABC did no fact checking in the real time and was the biggest hack job I think we've ever seen. And again, there are a lot of allegations. We'll see if it's actually true in terms of ABC giving her the questions prior to the debate. A lot of people saying she was, coached to have the right answers to, or quote unquote, better answers than she would normally have in the street, which would also explain how every time someone walks up to her and asks her any question above the intellect of, do you like Venn diagrams, she kind of sputters and it doesn't have much of a rebuttal or an intellectual response. And those are not as well as I thought it went, but it's got about 250,000 views. Looks like Charlie Kirk originally posted it. That got 766,000 views. With first comments coming from Alan Ruggs saying, quote, New York Times be like, fact check, Trump said Kamala wants to take people's guns away. This claim needs more context. Context, Kamala, quote, she says she wants to take zero guns away. Getting 589 likes. Old School Eddie says ABC knows all this. They chose to lie about it. Getting 367. Let's make it 368 likes. Gideon says, I guarantee she does not own a gun. He should have asked her with the brand and model right away. Getting 65 likes. Oh, yeah, I would have. Again, they're not against their bodyguards or their security details having massive, firepower. You just can't defend yourself. You have to be armless and defenseless, which is mentally vacuous and morally disgusting. Got no belief. And yeah, I made sure Joe Rogan or someone with a modicum of intellect was actually doing the debate and wasn't a hack, just complete bias trash. Because again, if they said that, I would love to quiz them. Oh, great. What kind of gun do you have? They would also force her to say, well, is it an AR-15? Is it a revolver? Is it a semi-automatic pistol, like most pistols are? And whatever she says, to say, wait, isn't that the gun you're trying to ban? And why do you get to dictate how people defend themselves and their family? Good questions, which I doubt she'll be able to answer. And yeah, I guarantee that I would be willing to bet a disproportionate amount of my income that she just made up that she does not actually own a gun. Her bodyguards might. But yeah, in terms of her, I don't think she's ever been to a firearms range, though she is quite proficient at taking certain. She's been quite proficient at capturing biological hazards. Not very good at dodging. I don't know how good she'd be good at range. But let me know in the comments. Do you think there'll be anyone calling for more fact checking? Will there even be a second debate? And then, do you think these types of juxtaposition of videos will help people in the middle, or help libertarians, help all other people see just how hypocritical she is, and how, just the track record and how she flip-flopped, how I'm not sure how many people can believe her stances. And her whole life she's been anti-gun, and only now during this debate she goes, "Oh yeah, I own a gun. We're totally not going to confiscate your guns." I don't know how many people will really believe her, but let me know in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, thereby letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.